Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Notion Hub, and in this video I'll be talking about all the best features of Vivo Y83 Pro along with some important tips and tricks. I'll first start off with the best features and then move on to the tips and tricks section. So if you're bored anywhere, just skip ahead, but make sure you definitely check out the tips and tricks section. By the way, I have used the Vivo Y83 in this video and you will find the same features on the Vivo Y83 Pro. Now with all that said, the first best feature about this phone is definitely its display. This phone packs a massive 6.22-inch IPS display with just HD+ resolution but has the display notch. I know some people love it, some people hate it, but it just gives you a more screen to body ratio. Now with that said, it also comes with a 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass, just in case if you're thinking about that display protection. Now the next best thing about this phone would be the portrait mode for the front and rear cameras. Just like the previous Vivo phones, we still get the portrait mode for the front and rear cameras even though they have only a single camera. So edge detection for the rear camera is obviously not perfect, but it's manageable. Portrait selfies come out pretty good. Now the next best thing about this phone would definitely be the processor. This phone sports a MediaTek Helio P22 processor built using the 12nm architecture with 4GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. Now this processor is by no means the best processor in this price segment, but considering the previous Vivo phones, this is definitely a huge upgrade. At least now you're getting decent performance for the price. Next, this phone also has a dedicated SD card slot. Once again, it's a rare thing to see a phone having a dedicated SD card slot in this price segment. This is a SIM card tray and it can house 2 nano SIM slots and a dedicated SD card slot. This phone has only 32GB of storage, and if you can add in an SD card, you don't have to worry about any storage issues. Next, we have a super fast fingerprint scanner. Almost all the phones come with a fingerprint scanner these days. They are fast but not super fast like this phone. Fingerprint scanner on this phone is definitely faster than any other phone in this price segment, say it's Redmi Note 5 Pro, Redmi Note 5, Asus M1 or the Moto G6 Play. No matter which latest phone you pick, fingerprint scanner on this phone is faster than that. Now the next best feature would be the face unlock. This phone doesn't have any fancy IR sensor like the iPhone X or the iris scanner like the Samsung phones. It just uses its front-facing camera to unlock the phone. And it is super fast. Not as fast as the Vivo V9, but still pretty fast enough. Comparatively, in well-lit conditions, it is super fast, and in low lighting conditions, it takes like a second to unlock, which is again much faster than phones like Redmi Note 5 Pro. Next, we have some camera gestures. First one is touch to capture. Simply touch the screen to capture the shot. Next, we have voice capture. Now once you enable this feature, every time you say cheese, your phone will take a picture. Now the final gesture is palm. Just show your palm to your camera and it will take a picture in 2 seconds. I find this really handy while taking selfies. Next, we have live photo mode. Simply enable it. Every time you take a picture using the front or rear cameras, it will record few seconds as video and link it with your picture. And you can check out that video in this way. It just adds a little story to every picture you take. Next, we have 2 fingerprint gestures. Just enable these 2 toggles and now we can swipe down on the fingerprint scanner to pull down the notification bar, which I think is super handy with a phone with such a massive screen. This is one particular feature I really miss on the Oppo F7. Next, we can also take pictures using the fingerprint scanner. In the stock camera application, simply touch the fingerprint scanner to take a picture. Now this is very handy to take selfies. Next, we have a feature called App Clone that allows us to use 2 versions of the same application. We just need to enable this toggle and go to the home screen and enter the edit mode by simply long pressing an icon, and you will be able to see the plus button for the applications that support this feature. As of now, very few applications like WhatsApp, Facebook and Instagram support this feature. Next, we have Smart Split. All the phones running Android Nougat and above offer split screen mode, where we can use 2 applications side by side. But Vivo offers a stripped down version of it even in 2018 after all these years. It only works on few applications like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and so on. I really wish Vivo could support split screen mode for all the applications. Vivo also offers us a quick gesture to open the split screen mode. Simply swipe down using 3 fingers in a compatible application to open split screen mode. If the application is not supported, you will simply get an error, and if it is supported, it will open that application in a split screen mode, and in the second window, you can choose the compatible applications. Once the split screen mode is on, you can click at the center for additional options. You can close either of the windows, swap them, or choose a different application. Next, in settings, we have this option called Smart Click. It's a quick shortcut to allow you to perform some actions when you press and hold the volume down button when the display is off. I prefer to use the flash. When the phone is locked, press and hold the volume down button to toggle the flash. By the way, it doesn't work if you're playing some music. You can also choose to record audio, open the camera application, and do other stuff. Next we have one-handed mode. This phone has a massive screen and obviously you need two hands to use this phone. But for some reason, if you want to use this phone single-handedly, or maybe unlock the passwords or use the keyboard single-handedly, you can do all that from these settings. To completely shrink the screen, you can do this gesture. You can do it again to maximize the screen. Next we have 3-finger screenshot. Before I show you how to use that, let me show you how to take a normal screenshot. Simply press the volume down and power button both at the same time to take a screenshot. Now coming back to the 3-finger screenshot, simply enable it and simply swipe up using 3 fingers to take a screenshot. It is super handy and I really love this feature. Next we have long screenshot. Now once you take a screenshot, you'll get a small preview on the top right corner of the screen. Now if you want to take a long screenshot, click the long screenshot button. Your phone will take a long screenshot. Next we have some air operations, and the first one is the glance feature. Once you enable this feature, you can simply wave over the proximity sensor to have a quick glance at the time. It is a cool feature to show off, but it will drain the battery a little. Next we have air unlock. If you don't have a password set to your phone, you can simply wave your palm over the proximity sensor to unlock the phone. I wouldn't recommend you using this feature, simply disable it and make sure you set up a good password for your phone. Next we have some gestures like double tap to sleep. Now once you enable this feature, you can simply double tap on an empty area on your home screen or your lock screen to lock your phone. This is kind of a unique feature and I wish we could do it even from the status bar. Next we have double click to light. Now just like the name suggests, once you enable this feature, you can double tap the screen to wake it up. This goes very well with the face unlock feature. Just double tap the screen to wake it up, and once your camera sees your face, it will immediately unlock the phone. Next we have rise to wake, and just as the name suggests, once you enable this feature, when you simply pick up your phone, screen lights up and shows you the lock screen. If you have enabled face unlock, it will instantly unlock the phone, which is a really nice experience. Next we have smart key bright. Once you enable this feature, your phone will use the front camera to see if you are using the phone, and if you are using the phone, it will keep the screen on. It's a cool feature, but it will drain the battery a little. Next we have a lot of smart call features, which I would recommend you to check them out yourself. You can put the phone near your ear to lift the call, hold it in the hand to turn on the speaker mode, swipe over the proximity sensor to lift the call and do some other stuff. Next we can shake the phone to turn on the flash. Once you enable this feature, you can shake your phone in the lock screen or the home screen to turn on the flash. You can press the power button to turn it off. If you enable double tap to sleep, it is kinda hard to use this feature. Next we have smart reminder. Once you enable this feature, every time you have a missed call or a notification, once you pick up the phone, you will get a gentle reminder. Next we have smart low volume. Once you enable this feature, for ringtones, alarms and timers, volume will go down automatically once the phone sees your face. Next we have super screenshot. I've already shown you how to take the regular screenshot, 3-finger screenshot and the long screenshot, but this one still offers a lot of things related to the screenshot. So to use the super screenshot, just open the notification bar and press the S capture toggle. From here you can take long screenshots, rectangular screenshots, even record the screen and take some funny screenshots. Next we have flashlight notification. Once you enable this toggle, every time you get a call or a message, LED light on the back flickers, giving you a visible indication. It will come in handy if your phone is in silent mode in a dark room. Next we have Easy Touch, which is like a floating bubble just like on an iPhone with some additional options. You can single tap it for additional options, and we can also choose a custom action for double tap, like going back, going to home screen, pulling down the notification bar or taking a screenshot. It is exactly like the feature seen in the iPhone with limited features. Next we have eye protection mode. This feature is also called as night mode and reading mode in other phones. You can turn it on by using this toggle or from the notification toggles or based on a specific time. This mode protects your eyes at night by filtering blue light. Next we have gaming mode. Once you enable this particular feature for any particular game, you get additional options like putting the calls in the background, auto rejecting the calls, blocking all floating notifications, and disabling automatic Wi-Fi connection. Now if you play a lot of games and don't want to be interrupted, this particular feature is a lifesaver. Next we have navigation gestures, which resemble the iPhone X a lot. We can swipe from the right side to go back, swipe from the center to go home, swipe and hold for recent apps, and you can swipe from the left side for control center. Next we have super power saver mode. Once you enable this mode, all the applications will be killed and you will be given access to only 4 applications: phone dialer, messenger, contacts and clock. And that's all you can do, but it will drastically improve the battery life. Let's say you're running really low on battery and don't want your phone to die, you just want to answer calls, simply enable this mode and your phone will last for hours. Next, we have an app lock built into the system. For the first time when you open it up, it'll ask you to set a password and then select the applications that you want to lock. Now the best thing about this phone is we can unlock the locked applications using the password or the fingerprint or even the facial recognition system. So most of the time, in good lighting conditions, you might never even see the lock screen if you have facial recognition on. Next, we have task timer. This feature is called as schedule power on and power off on other phones, and as the name suggests, it will allow you to power off and power on your phone at a specific time. Next, we have network management, where we can disable internet access to applications or Wi-Fi and mobile data. Normally, many people won't be using this feature, but if you're someone who wants absolute control over your phone, or maybe you don't want applications to access internet, say Clash of Clans, or maybe if you don't want others to use internet on your phone for a specific application, maybe playing a game, then you can disable internet access for that particular application. Next, we have wireless display. Using this feature, we can cast the screen of your phone to a smart TV or a Chromecast. I personally use this feature to cast the screen of my phone to my TV while watching a movie on Amazon Prime. Next, we have a floating video player. The stock video player that comes on this phone gives us the option to play video in a floating window. And this is how it looks. We can also swipe on the right side to increase the volume, swipe on the left side to increase the brightness, and swipe left or right to change the playback position. Next, we have motorbike mode. So once you enable this mode, you get some additional options like rejecting all the calls, only accepting favorite calls while you are driving the bike, automatically respond to the callers with a message, or let you answer the phone if your speed is less than 10 km per hour. It's a cool feature, but we have to manually turn it on and turn it off. I wish we could automate it. Next, we have background apps. By default, this phone is configured to kill all the applications running in the background after some time, but if you don't want some specific applications to be killed, say like WhatsApp or Facebook, you can whitelist them from this page. Next, we have AUTOSTART management. When you kill applications from the recent tabs page, some applications restart and run in the background. Apps like Facebook and WhatsApp might be important, but apps like Amazon, Flipkart, or even the UC browser need not run in the background. So from this page, you can block such applications from restarting in the background and thereby improving the battery life. Next, we have auto call recording. If you're someone like me who wants to record all the calls that they receive on your phone, we can do it on this phone. Just go to the phone dialer settings and we have the option for recording all the calls automatically. So guys, those were the best features. Now let's look at some important tips and tricks. Now the first thing I would suggest you to do is make apps full screen. When you first get this phone and try to play any video on YouTube, you will see two black borders on either side like this. Now if you try to do a pin gesture, it will not go full screen. Mine does, but you need to do the following. So to make any app go full screen or to use the screen completely, go to settings. Once you're in settings, select display and brightness. From here, select third-party app display ratio. Then scroll all the way to the bottom, select YouTube and make sure you set it as full screen. It will be set as safe area display, but you need to make it as full screen. And once you do that, you will be able to do the pin gesture and make the video play in full screen. Now the same thing applies even for games. Now let's take Sony Dash for instance. You need to select this option to make it full screen. As a general rule of thumb, just make all these apps go full screen. If you run into any problem with any application, then come back and make sure you set it to safe area. I would suggest you to use the full screen for all the apps for a more immersive experience. Now that's the first thing that you should definitely do on your phone. Next, I'll show you how to rearrange these buttons. Now if you go to settings once again, select system navigation, select this option. Now from here you can rearrange these buttons. If you want the back button on the left side, you can do that, and you can even change how these buttons are displayed. I like to go with this. Now let's go back. I have already shown you how to use the navigation gestures, but if you want to change the position of the toggles and the back button, you can do it from here once again. So from now on, if you swipe from the right side, you'll get the toggles, and if you swipe on the left side, you'll go back. So it is as simple as that. Next, I'll show you how to disable the heads up notification. Now whenever you get a notification on this phone, a pop-up window will show up over here, and it can be quite distracting if you get a lot of notifications. So to disable that, go to status bar and notification. From here, select top preview style and select no preview. Now once you do that, you won't get the heads up notification. Now if you want to change the default browser or the default launcher on this phone, go to settings, scroll and select more settings. Now select applications. From here, select default app settings. Now from here you can change the default home launcher, default album, default browser, default keyboard, and so on. So if you have installed something like a Nova launcher over here, you need to come here to change it. Now one thing I would suggest you to do is select the browser as Google Chrome or something you use regularly. Next I'll show you how to disable this control center from popping up everywhere. Now for that, go to settings, select more settings. From here select control center. Now if this toggle is enabled, you can pull up the control center from anywhere. So no matter where you are, if you're in the phone dialer or YouTube application, you can swipe up to bring it up. Now for some reason if you don't want that, you can disable it and you won't be able to see the control center when you swipe from the bottom. So to open the control center, every time you have to go to the home screen. Now this phone also has OTG support, and if you want to use the OTG pen drive on this phone, you need to go to settings and make sure you enable this toggle. If you don't enable it manually, even if you insert an OTG pen drive, it will not be recognized. Next I'll show you how to display the battery percentage and the network usage on the status bar. For that, go to settings and select status bar and notification. From here, if you want to display the battery percentage on the status bar, enable this toggle. And if you want to see the network speed, enable this toggle. Now you can see the battery percentage, but to see the network speed, you need to open the notification area. So over here we have the network speed. Now if you want to change the display sleep time or screen off time, go to display settings. From here select auto lock and change it over here. For better battery life, I would suggest you to go with 30 seconds or 1 minute. So guys, finally this is the home launcher that comes pre-installed and you don't need to use it as it is. You can move these things around. For example, if you want to change this widget, change the location, touch and hold and go to the home screen that you want to place it and leave it. Now if you want to change the position of these icons, you can do the same. First enter the edit mode or simply long press an icon, and once you do that, you can easily swipe over these icons to move it anywhere. Now if you want to uninstall any one of these applications, once again enter the edit mode by long pressing any of these icons, and now click this cross button and that application will be deleted or uninstalled. Now finally this is the control center where you have all these notification toggles. Now if you want to rearrange them, swipe left, select this button over here, and from here you can rearrange them. This is usually my setup. First I have the Wi-Fi followed by Bluetooth, mobile data, auto rotate toggle, and the torch. Now for some quick tips, these are the applications that are currently in memory. So if you want to close them, you can swipe up, and if you want to lock them, swipe down and click this button. That application will be locked and will not be closed. So guys, those were all the best features and important tips and tricks. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video. Now if you're planning to buy this phone, please use the link in the description. It always helps the channel, and if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and I'll try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.